The pandemic has intensified symptoms of mental illness for people around the world. The times we're living in are not normal, and for people with obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD, this time can cause their compulsions to go into overdrive. Our Sydney Stallworth met with an expert who says his clients are feeling the effects.
We take on a lot of stress under conditions like this, and that exacerbates some of the other symptoms that a person might be experiencing, like with OCD.
Therapist and owner of Behavioral Sciences of Alabama, Dr. David Barnhart, has treated patients with OCD for decades. He says we have a deeply rooted misunderstanding of how OCD is expressed.
We often think straightening or cleaning or ordering things. That's part of it, but we have an assessment that we use that has 59 different examples of how OCD can manifest itself. Sometimes it manifests in related disorders like skin picking or hair pulling.
Dr. Barnhart says OCD stems from deep fears or thoughts or obsessions that lead to repetitive and sometimes damaging actions called compulsions.
It takes 17 years on average between the time a person manifests OCD symptoms to the time they get diagnosed. People that say I'm a little OCD, they don't really know what they're talking about.
Compulsions can take up at least 1 hour of a person's day.
There's a little bit of temporary relief that comes from that, which causes a chemical release in the brain called dopamine, and it strengthens my tendency to engage in the compulsion.
The pandemic has made things worse for some of his clients.
Contamination fears or germ phobia, those kinds of things, of course, they were more triggered.
He says their exposure and response prevention treatment helps people name the root of what's really causing their anxiety and conquer it by facing it in different forms.
So their anxiety will decrease due to repeated exposure.
If you find yourself expressing compulsions in ways you never have before, reach out to a professional for help. With your Mental Health Monday, Sydney Stallworth, WZDX News.